Hi, everybody. Welcome again to the Healing Place podcast, Facebook Live series on pandemic self-care. And so we're going to continue our discussions of what we can do to keep ourselves grounded and calm and strategies we can utilize. And I'm very excited to have with me today, Heather Ferri. So welcome, Heather.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell people a little bit about you and what it is you do.
I'm the author of Victim to Victory, and I'm hired internationally to as a trauma coach. I work with two Eastern sciences, specifically Kundalini brain protocols. They deal with PTSD, OCD, addiction, and the psyche abused, and electrolyzed reduced water. And I utilize these two fundamental sciences with help healing mental illnesses, the brain, and they're not covered yet by insurances, but I'm hoping down the road they will be.
Wonderful. Yeah. And we talked just a few seconds beforehand about the water. And yeah, it's almost healing properties. I mean, just the health benefits of it alone, right?
It is. I've been very busy in the last week talking to families, specifically mothers, and speaking to business owners about this device because we think of water ionizers, there's hundreds on the market, but this is actually a licensed medical device. It's actually been used in Japanese hospitals for 45 years, and it has substantial clinical research. And one of the waters, it creates seven different types of waters for seven purposes in healing. But one of them is the 2.5 electrolyzed hypochloric acid water. I wanted to get that right. And that water is FDA approved to clean restaurants. That water in Japanese hospitals is used it cleans their medical facilities, their medical equipment. It is actually could kill in 10 minutes, and this is in PubMed, things like staph, E. coli, AIDS, MRSA. So it's a very, very powerful property right now. And so I'm trying to teach business owners the value of not just the machine, but to really go green and to really have the best product to clean your facilities. And especially when you open your doors again, to have a spray bottle of this, spraying the hands all the time is really important. You can use the 2.5 water also to gargle to kill things like strep infections, gums disease, cavities. You can use a little bit in the ears. So I always said years ago, I started using the product and I'm teaching people to drink good water, clean water. I said it was really the specialty waters that were priceless. And now in this sort of
Oh,
situation we're
yeah.
in, people are now paying attention to it. Even
Right.
people who have purchased a device, I've actually been doing Zoom sessions to teach them about how to use that water specifically because they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And it's overwhelming at first because it's a new way of working. It's seven types of waters. We only think there's one water to drink with, right?
Oh,
We didn't
yeah.
realize there were so many options. And then obviously the drinking water has healing properties or medical grade properties for the first 24 hours to help detox things like viruses and infections.
Wonderful. So the cleaning one is obviously something you wouldn't want to consume.
You would not.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Got it. So, yeah, so we'll talk at the end about how people can get a hold of you and get in touch with you. Let's talk a little bit, make a little turn into some self-care strategies and things that people can utilize to feel a sense of calm in this isolation and the chaos going on in our world.
Yeah. So one of the messages I've been sending out to people is if you're not used to being isolated, because some of us are actually, but if you're not used to it, could you possibly look at it as an experience that you can go deeper within meditation, deeper within knowing yourself? What I mean by that is sit with the uncomfortableness, right? That this sort of the way I always, through my book, Victim to Victoria, every challenge, every hardship I experienced, I knew God was trying to teach me something. God was trying to show me something. God does not want us to be in pain, but sometimes to heal, we have to go through some things that are uncomfortable. So if you're uncomfortable at home, if you're always used to being busy and now you're stuck at home, what's it like to be with you? Like, what's it like to spend a little bit more time with you? Maybe that's a gift. even though you know, you might be stressed about money and you might be stressed about this, am I going to get this virus? If you're able to be in a home, first of all, that's a privilege. If you're able to have a space, an apartment, wherever you're at, if you're able to clean your hands every day, that's a privilege. Things that we forget about, that we take for granted, but just sort of trying to get back into the reality of like how privileged and how grateful we are for our circumstances and to stay grounded. Then some of the things that I'm sure everybody's been listening to is minimize the use of listening to the news and listening to TV and listening to even social media unless it's positive, unless it's resourceful. Once a day, twice a day, schedule it actually in. If you want to get the update, schedule it, you know, when you know the update's going to happen with our president. But in the meantime, either allow space of silence or play positive music, something that uplifts you, that makes you happy. So for me, I was playing all morning. I don't know if you remember the 80s song, We Are the World.
Yes, right. Oh,
And
yeah.
I was just playing it and just trying to just feel it and send love and prayers out to everybody around the world. Because if there's one thing that we all know that has happened now, is this virus has connected the whole world.
Yes.
It has connected us. We are all the same. Whether you're poor, rich, black, it does not discriminate. And so there is a spiritual teaching in that, in essence, as well. So I really see a lot of spiritual healing within this situation, probably because I do work with trauma. And if you ever work with trauma, you have to go through some painful situations, some healing crises to come out and see the sun again. And I think that us as a world, as a society, we needed to slow down.
Yeah.
We needed to smell the roses in essence and take stock. So if this is a great opportunity to, if you don't like your job, to sit and think about, well, is there something else you could do right now in your life that would bring more meaning and happiness? This is the perfect time to make that transition. Things like that. And as far as self-care, breathing exercises, because deep breathing exercises, yogic breathing exercises calm the nervous system. So I'm sure there's 100 YouTubes you could YouTube. You could message me, but you know, one nostril breathing to keep the congestion, releasing the congestion from the brain, which isn't just like, you know, virusy things. When we get congested, we're congested because we're stressed. We're congested because maybe we're eating a little bit too much caffeine or sugar, you know. And then I do want to teach one exercise to everybody right now. It's very simple. I do it when I do senior programming, and right now I'm not allowed into the senior facilities. It's not uncommon, by the way, every year during flu season to have a floor quarantined in a senior home. That's actually normal. So they kind of already had those systems in place. It's just now the whole building's being quarantined, which is a challenge, of course. But my seniors, I just checked in this morning with my boss, and knock on wood, they're doing well. The only issues they're having is they're in their rooms that are a little small, and they really want to go out running down the hall and do something. So they're itching to play, you know. So them having to stay in their room is really, really hard for them. But their health is doing really well. And one of the exercises I do with them is panting like a dog. If you've ever seen a dog, they stick out their tongue and they're doing that to cool their system down. Well, we can do it to strengthen the lining of our lungs, to clean them and strengthen our lungs. So with my seniors, I work them up minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time. And what I'm asking my clients to do right now is 5 minutes a day. Basically, you put both hands on your belly, you stick the tongue out as far as you can. And when you make the sound, the belly goes in. And you're going to do that. Put a timer on every day, and it's going to help build the lungs.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I felt myself pull in automatically when I started to do that. Is that, are you wanting your stomach to go in and out?
It's going to go in and out like a pump because you're
Okay.
pumping blood to the heart too. That's why I always say put your hand on your belly just to make sure. And so it goes in on the sound and it comes back out. And then just with deep breathing, when I'm teaching in the beginning, I have people put their hands on their belly because we have muscle memory. And just because you think you're taking a deep breath, your muscles might be doing the opposite. So the information is every time you inhale, your belly expands like a balloon. And every time you exhale, your belly slowly comes in. And a lot of people actually do the opposite. And if they're doing the opposite, that's limiting the oxygen to the heart and the brain. So when I say the value of 15 minutes a day of breath work, I work with all populations, but the senior population, having worked with them, a lot of times the classes I'm working with, they don't get the flu because they're consistently doing this scientific breath work. So there's a lot of value to that. And what's great is if you have a little extra time right now, learn it so that when you are busy again, you have it to incorporate in your life. So your health can become stronger after this. I think one of the wake up calls with this virus is that people who were maybe taking their health for granted
Yeah.
now have to kick in gear and schedule some time for exercise and meditation. And are you maybe needing some vitamins? Did you get your blood work done every year from your doctor? Things like that. I think this is going to wake up people to take their health a little bit more seriously, and that's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I love everything that you've said. And we've no one has touched upon these things yet. And that's why I'm just loving these conversations, because what you're bringing to the table is, again, just wonderful information for people to have and to think about. I know for me, when we first connected and saw each other, um, I had just gone for a walk around my pool because I'm one of those that's saying, I need to get up and move every hour, even if it's just 5 minutes, just to, instead of sitting at my computer for 6 hours in a row, get up and move and get some blood flowing. And yeah, and it's been a wake up call for me as well.
Yeah, for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, anything else that you'd like to touch upon before we close out, and certainly talk to people about how they can get a hold of you?
Mm, just that, I guess for this day, if you're watching this video at this moment, one of my teachers said that the greatest gift is our breath. And so just think about that because we take it for granted. You take 20,000 breaths a day and you take it for granted. And this is a respiratory virus, unfortunately, and that's disheartening to me in a sense. So when just be conscious of just that gift, that great gift you've been given. And I just wish everybody blessings and love and take this time to do some deep healing because I think that we all as a collective, this could really allow us to come closer together. And yeah, that's my message.
Beautiful. I had seen something on Facebook and it was a cute little quote. There's a lot of humor stuff out there right now, which is cracking me up, even though it's a very serious situation. We have to be able
Sure.
to laugh. And this one said, God was so annoyed with all of our fighting down here, he sent us all to our rooms. And I just thought that was, I mean, that
Absolutely.
was accurate. You talking about your
Mhm.
the seniors that you're working with and being sent to their room, and yeah, so anyway, so
Yeah, it's great.
how do people get a hold of you?
There's two websites. Healingpain.solutions is a website that I mostly have online programs, but obviously you can message me. You can get a couple free chapters of my book if that interests you. And then Heather Ferri, Ferri.com, heatherferri.com. And then I'm on Facebook too. So
Awesome. And
yeah,
that's under Heather Ferri.
it's under Heather A. Ferri. I had to have the middle initial because there were other Heather Ferries out there. It's
Right.
like, wow, somebody else has my name.
Awesome. All right. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing such beautiful
Thank you.
insights. And yeah, I hope that the water business continues to blossom because yes, what a beautiful gift to the world.
It is. I guess I want to send this message out there too. I was saying this last night, and it's not something I think about, but If anybody out there has disposable income, because some people do, and you want to try this device, I really am trying to get somebody to see the value to buy some for our senior homes,
Oh, yeah.
to buy some for the facilities. So it's just something to think about. I have a client who is going to buy a device for an organization. So it's things like that too. It is for you. If you're interested, you want to learn about it, please message me. I actually have a website on the water devices, Kangen, Kangen healer, HEALER.com, and you can message me there too. But it's also about paying it forward too. If we can
Right.
get some good science into more places so other people can be exposed to it.
Yes, I love it. Well, good. I hope you get a great feedback from that. So,
Thank you.
all right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening in today. And until next time, remember, be gentle with yourself. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.